You ever been so bored in church you thought you might die? Well, Eutychus did. This is the story of the kid who fell asleep during a sermon and plummeted 3 stories to his death. And what happened next is not what you'd expect. Welcome to the next episode of Wait, That's in the Bible? Okay, so the year is around 57 AD. The place? Troas, a busy Roman port city in what is now modern day Turkey. The preacher? The one and only Apostle Paul, on his third missionary journey, and he knows his time is short. He's on his way headed back to Jerusalem, and even though he knows arrest and suffering are waiting for him there. So this night in Troas might be the last time he sees this church. Ever. So they gather in an upper room. Third floor, packed with people, lit by dozens of flickering oil lamps. It's hot. It's smoky. And Paul doesn't stop talking. In the window sits Eutychus. His name means lucky, which is kind of hilarious. He's described as a young man, maybe a teenager, possibly a servant or a slave. And he's trying to stay awake. But Paul is still going, hours into the night. Just imagine the room, packed with bodies, stale air, firelight dancing on the walls, the low hum of Paul's voice. Eutychus leans against the frame. His eyes drift shut, and suddenly, he falls. Out the window. Down 3 stories. The room goes silent. Someone screams. People rush downstairs. He's not breathing. He's dead. Paul immediately runs down and throws himself on top of the boy, just like Elijah did with the widow's son, just like Elisha with the Shunammite boy. He hugs the lifeless body and says, "Don't be alarmed, he's alive." And just like that, Eutychus lives again. The crowd is stunned. Joy breaks out. This boy, this servant, this nobody is suddenly the centerpiece of a resurrection story. But Paul? He goes right back upstairs, breaks bread, has a snack, and keeps preaching. Until dawn. This story is easy to laugh at. I mean, poor kid just couldn't hang. But there is so much more going on. First, the early church was starving for the word. They stayed up all night to hear it. They knew time was short. Second, Paul's urgency wasn't just dramatic, it was prophetic. He never did return to Troas. Third, the miracle doesn't happen at a revival service or on a holy mountaintop. It happens during a boring night in a crowded room, in the middle of real life. The gospel meets us there, in fatigue, distraction, accidents, and interruptions, and it brings life. So, next time you doze off in church, just remember, it's biblical. But also, the God who raised Eutychus is still in the business of waking people up. Hit subscribe if you want more weird, wild, and true stories from Scripture. This has been Wait, That's in the Bible?